Hey everyone, it's Kogi from creativekogi.com and welcome to another lunchtime chat. I'm just going to get set up here. I'm so excited because today we're chatting to Miensie van Zyl from Knotty Habit. I'm just going to give Miensie some time to log in. I see that, I can't see. It's the software. I can't actually see who's joining the chat. So what I'm trying to do, if it will work, is just have a look on my Facebook page at the same time. I don't know if it's going to be distracting, but let's see how it goes. So let me get started here. Just want to quickly check that I've got the spelling all correct. Yeah, that seems about right. Okay, so I can't really see who's joining the chat, unfortunately, but I can see the comments down the side of my page. So if you have joined the chat, just type in a hello so I know who you are. But as I said, I'm also going to try and see, try and just see if it would work on my cell phone as well. I'm not quite sure if this is going to work out. You see, I can't really see anything here. Okay, I actually can. Let's see. Aha. So there's a bit of a delay on the cell phone side. I see that. Okay, it's very odd now because I'm looking at myself and looking here. Let's see. Can I see who's come in? No. Okay. All right. We still have a few minutes. I'm just waiting. Hi, Jane. How are you? Yeah. Okay. So this is not really effective. I was hoping that when I do a Facebook live chat, usually as people start to join the chat, I'm able to see who's joined, but this software won't allow me to do that. Hi, Anel. Okay, so let's see. Right. Okay. So we're still waiting for Miensie. I want to just ask if any of you have questions you'd like me to ask. You can put it in the comments, and I will ask Miensie during the chat. There we go.
Hello.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
I hear you, but I'm looking behind you more than anything else.
You see, I'm clever.
Yeah, it's just beautiful. I want to come and sit there with you.
You are more than welcome anytime. You know that.
Miensie, welcome to the chat, and thank you for saying yes. I'm very honored. I feel it's like such a privilege. I might get a bit tongue tied because I'm a little bit nervous.
Come on.
But
No.
I'm just waiting for people to join us. So I can't from my side see who's here. So I've just asked people if they, as they come in, if they could just say hello, but also if you have questions you want to ask. But it's now, it's 12:03, so let's get started. I do have questions.
Okay, you start with a question.
I'm going to ask some questions before we get into sort of today's so exciting for me. Let me tell you that because you are going to teach me things that I don't actually know. And so let me get the
I'm going to
questions
do the
out the way.
total conversion.
Ah,
I'm going to do the total conversion from acrylic to natural yarns.
can you see what's behind me? Hey, this is what I know. What's behind me is what I know. What's
I know.
behind you is it's foreign. It's completely foreign and I'm clueless. So,
No, that's
Miensie, I didn't realize that you are like brand new. You like the young kid on the block with Knotty Habits.
I'm not
It's
the youngest.
new.
There are some actually younger than me.
Are they? Oh, okay, no.
Yeah, no, there's definitely younger than me. I'm about a year and a half old now. March it will be two
Yeah.
years. I've always loved fiber. I've always loved texture. I had it might be a little bit too far past for your age, but there was a creative textiles shop range in South Africa. It came from Cape Town with overdyed t-shirting and overdyed all kind of things. And I had a franchise like that in the 90s, in the early 90s. So I've always been involved in texture and that and anything that's got to do with craft when it comes to wool and material. I love that.
Yeah, and so how did you get to dye your own? Did you just get there was nothing out there? Because I know it's quite new also. We know is acrylic. I mean it's what all I knew was acrylic. I just never knew
Um,
about, the wool.
the hand dyed yarns are not that new in South Africa. I mean, Marlene from One of a Kind Yarns has been busy with hand dyeing yarns for I think probably about 15 years. If I
Oh,
should probably kill
yeah.
me, probably more than that. I don't know, but she's been in the business for quite a while. I started with spinning actually. I've always wanted to spin. And when my kids left school and they left South Africa, they all three of them are actually in the US. I felt that I've got time now to do whatever I want to do because I've always been
Yeah.
a mum, a corporate wife, and we traveled the world and things like that. So I started spinning and found that I like to spin natural fibers more than what I actually like to spin already dyed fibers. But then on the other hand, you ended up with these bobbins full of spun yarn. And what do you do with so many yarn that's natural colors? So that's how the whole thing started. And it just grew from there.
But Mincy, your colors are amazing. Did you like have did you learn? Did you study like
No,
textiles and colors? This is just okay. Because I
no,
don't know how you put colors together.
I have actually don't have an art background. You guys will laugh, but I actually I've got a political science background. That is what I studied.
Wow.
And, as I said, I just always love color and
Yeah.
textiles and texture. Texture to me is the big thing. I love things that comes from fine weave to a little bit more bulky and then fine again and things like that. The colors is a lot of what I like myself. It's very difficult for me and I believe for most of the indie dyers to dye out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
To dye colors that you won't wear yourself.
So if I was left to dye, I'd give you like beige, brown, maybe a little bit of flecks in it.
You'll see that, and those are the colors that I have a hot on dyeing. I like the navy and the bright red and the bright pink, and I'm bold when it comes to color like that. I always tease and I say I've got a heavy hand with a dye powder, so that's that's one of the reasons why it's a little bit. I might say it might be a little bit bolder than some of the other dyers.
No, it's beautiful. So I must tell everybody, I wanted to make a shawl last week, and then I read the pattern, and then I looked at the yarn, and I was like, oh dear, what does that mean? I'm not actually quite sure. So I went onto the website, and then I looked at the fingering and the lace and the double knit and the 4-ply, and I was like, oh dear Lord, what on earth is that? So then I took the easy way out. I sent Miensie the pattern, and I said, help. And she did. She did. Let me show, actually, before we get into the questions. I was hoping to have more progress, but that's my color 1. And then I'm going to go into color 2 and then color 3. I would never have put these colors together, but look how gorgeous. So it's beautiful. It's going to be a beautiful shawl. I'm so excited.
And it's one of my favorite bases. I love the 4-ply. I love that base. It's
and
so
I'm
bouncy.
stopping every so often to just smell it because it smells so good. It's just,
The Knotty trademark smell. Everyone is talking about the smell, and I'm actually laughing, and I say, no, that's the Knotty trademark smell.
Are you like going around and spraying it just before you package it? I mean, where's that smell coming from? It's beautiful.
It's actually in my rinsing water. My final rinse, I do a little bit of a trick there.
Okay, because I thought it's been exposed now and it's out of the package, the packet, and that the color would go away, but it lingers.
No, the big thing is with the natural yarns, because we dye what we call with an acid dye, which sounds a lot more dangerous than what it really is. It's just that the dye needs an acid base to actually stick to the fiber. So you can use plain household vinegar as your acid, but it smells.
Yes, and I can imagine. Not nice.
I particularly don't like that smell, and it's a hard thing to get out of your yarn. So I do not dye with vinegar. I actually dye with citric acid, which is very, very safe. It's what they use for cooking. Anything that's got all these sour sweets that the kids eat have citric acid in it. So it's not dangerous at all to dye with. But it also gets a kind of a smell because the yarn needs to soak in the water and things like that. And I just washed it out in my last final rinse with a little bit of my secret.
Your secret, yes. No, let's keep it a secret.
It's not really a secret. It is just I put a little bit of essential oil on my water. That's the secret. There's your secret.
Okay. Everybody who's listening, don't tell anyway. But Miensie, let's just come to these different fibers now. As I said to you, I know acrylic. If you like give me 4-ply and double knit, and now I'm doing a square just now for friends around the world, and they said worsted weight, which we don't actually have here, but we have chunky, so I can figure my way around. But now when it's fingering and blends and all sorts from your end, I'm like so confused. What does it mean?
Okay, the easiest way to direct yourself through the natural yarn path is to go by meters, and all your patterns in Ravelry and wherever you buy your modern patterns will tell you so many meters.
Yes.
That's why I can tell you can use 1,200 meters for a sweater. I don't know how many balls that is.
Okay.
Or 1,600 meters if you got my body type. But it goes according to meters. So you need to go look at your pattern. You go look at your fingering weight, which is the average kind of weight that the overseas natural yarn patterns will come in, is around 360 meters on 100 grams.
Okay. And that's one of those. What is it? Is it called a skein or is it called a hank? What is it?
It's the same thing, according in my eyes. I know some people will disagree with me, but the Americans call it hanks and the rest of the world call it skeins. It's a little bit. Okay. They've got this thing that the hank is twisted. I don't know. It's a little bit different, but it's this. Well, in Afrikaans, I call it a koeksister. It looks like a koeksister.
Okay. Yes, it does. You're right. It does. Now you got me thinking about koeksisters. But now, Miensie, wait, stop. Just stop. Look at what you are wearing. How did I miss that?
I'm wearing a merino linen blend, which is a premium weight. And my very, very good friend Anel actually knitted this for me because, as you would know, I don't get a lot of time to knit myself. I do love knitting and I love crocheting. I'm actually a crocheting. I'm in the process of being converted to a knitter, but I don't think I will ever completely be converted. I will be what they call a bi-stitchel person. I will always come back to the crochet because that's my safety and my comfort zone.
Yeah.
But for this we use 3 skeins.
No way.
So
Really?
yeah, it's 360 meters for a short sleeve, 3 skeins, and I mean times that by 195. You get like 600 rand a beautiful knitted summer top. And girls, as hot as it is outside, this is cool because
I want
merino
to ask
is
about that.
regulating body temperature. It's
I
one of the
find this
natural
concept,
attributes.
but Miensie, I find this concept so difficult to understand because I keep thinking of sheep, and sheep have wool on their bodies, and then you shave the sheep so they can be cool in summer because you're taking away all that warmth. And I always think wool is for people who live in, like, Nordic countries where it's like snowing. I just find it so hard to understand how wool keeps you cool.
But you have to realize that, I mean, sheep can also wear that massive amount of wool on its body. And if you don't shave it, and there are places that shave later than us and stuff like that, they still carry that wool and they don't die of heat. So it is just, I know it's a foreign concept. It's not something that we can get our heads around. And especially growing up, as I was growing up on a farm, where you always were like, the natural stuff were always there, you eat from the ground and stuff like that. But the whole thing was that wool was warm. You're not allowed to wash it because it shrinks. And nowadays that whole concept changed because we've got the superwash yarns. That is a treatment that they do with the wool before they spin it. So the superwash yarn is treated in a way that it will not shrink. And literally what they do is, if you look at wool fibers, it's got little hair standing up under a microscope. And this and what happened in the older days with non-superwash, when you heat it or when you wash it, those fibers will move in, and they will move in like this. So that's where the shrinking comes from. But now we've got the non-superwash, and they put this layer over it, and it just goes like that without going in. So
now it has to be hand washed. Hey, it must be hand washed. Everything that you knit should be hand washed.
That's what they say. I have washed my merino blankets in the washing machine.
Okay.
You can do it on a delicate wash. I wash my socks in the washing machine.
Yeah, because all these modern machines now have the settings also. There's a bit of static.
Or a delicate setting.
Yeah, Miensie, I don't know if you can hear it on your side. There's a bit of static coming through. I'm just wondering. I'm not sure if it's me or you. I mean, I can still hear you as long as you're not breaking up. I don't know if those of you who are listening, can you hear us okay? Do we need to log out a bit and come back in? Is everything clear? Can somebody just drop me a message and let me know? Elmarie's just joined us. Hi, Elmarie. I think we can carry on because it's not breaking. It's just a bit of almost static. Like crinkling paper.
Yeah, it's like static. I don't know.
And it's not like you know, so far away. It's okay. It's okay. Let's just carry on. So I want to ask also, so you don't have to wash it after every use. That's the other thing I read when I was doing the socks, that you don't actually have to wash your socks.
The merino does not actually, what is the right word? It doesn't keep body odors. So you will never have stinky socks.
Yes, I like that concept.
And I mean, that is one of the reasons why people in Europe, they will wear, especially if it's outerwear, like the very hard wool types that you get in the Norwegian areas, they will wear that jersey and just hang it up. Hang it outside to air and wear it again. Some of those garments will never ever actually be washed.
Oh, okay. um,
It's outerwear. It's like very hard
yeah,
wear.
yeah. But coming back to these different weights now, it means something completely different to acrylic. Elmarie says, is there a cell phone close by that can cause the static? Okay, mine is here. I'm going to put that far away. Is your phone near you, Miensie?
I'm using my phone. I'm using my
Oh,
phone.
okay.
I'm on my
Okay.
phone. Is that the
Maybe
problem?
that, I don't know. Um, it's not so bad now, all of a sudden, and then yeah,
Yeah, it comes and
it's
goes.
okay. Yeah, it comes and goes. I think it might just be the reception. I'm sitting
Yeah,
on my computer, so
I can't see the live on my computer.
yeah,
Don't know why.
yeah, it's okay. I think let's carry on. It's just probably the reception that's a bit bad. Um, yeah, I just want to come back to the different weights. What does it mean exactly? So you have 4-ply is not
Okay.
really
Apply,
thickness.
apply. Apply means your strands have been twisted. So you can have I've put some examples here for you. I'm going to just put you down here and see if this works. I've got a 3-ply. If you open up your yarn like
Yeah.
that, you can see there are 3 strands. Can you see that?
Yes.
It's 3 strands that are like plied together. Okay.
Yes.
This weight is a DK weight. It's 216 meters on 100 grams. So that is your traditional DK weight,
Mm.
but it's a 3-ply. And normally when
Uh-huh.
I say to people that's only used to acrylic, you can't get a 3-ply DK.
Yes.
You can get a 4-ply DK.
Yeah.
You
And
can
see
get
now
a
this is like
single DK. You
yeah,
can get a single DK that hasn't been plied at all, but
right.
it's a DK weight because of the literage per 100 gram.
I
So
kind of
this is
understand, but it's going to take some while sort of getting used to it as I work more with the natural yarn. Yeah.
this. If you can see this, this is the lace weight.
Yes. Yes. So
Okay,
it's
this is
exceptionally thin.
It's 650 meters on 100 gram. If
Right.
you crochet this with a 4 millimeter hook and you make yourself a what is a corner to corner granny, like with just a half of it for like a scarf, it's the
Yes.
most beautiful scarf that you could wear because it's the triangle, the 4 millimeter hook, it's got lovely drape, and you can get it with
Yeah.
one skein because of all the
Ah.
literage on it.
Uh-huh. Okay. So you're giving me ideas.
I have to
And
send you one. You can try it out. Four
yes.
millimeters with lace weight yarn.
Oh, yeah, no, yes, definitely. But now I promise I said to myself, I must stop showing off my one sock. But what would an interview with you be like if I don't show you my one sock and talk about socks? So you know,
Yep. Well, you have to show me that one sock.
no, look, I have nothing on my arm. I'm healing quite nicely. So I'm almost ready to knit my other sock. But I just wanted to talk about this for just a minute before I give you the floor to talk about, from yarn, from what you get to what you end up behind you. Um, I was so completely surprised. I thought there must be something wrong with Miensie for wanting to work with me on a sock along because I'd never made socks before.
You know what?
And
I started dyeing yarn with no knowledge, so we are a pair.
And so I'm so very grateful. I have to tell you, I'm so very grateful that you decided to collaborate with me on the sock along and give everybody that participated a discount. And I've made such awesome friends through the sock along. just for people joining, and then and typical me. I mean, I'm a scientist researcher, so everything I do will be like tons of information, and I learned so much through the process. And I don't think I would have carried on talking about it and not really done it had we not decided to do the collaboration. So I want to say thank you. I have a sock.
Well, I can show you the next level. The
Yes.
next level, Cody, is what we call self-striping. Can you see this?
Oh, that is the knot stopper, is it? Is that
This
the knot
is the knot
stopper?
stopper, and the knot stopper's name comes from a yarn that they call them gap stoppers overseas. So as you know, I notify everything in my life. So gap stoppers became knot stoppers, and this is a self-striping yarn. So I actually promised myself that I will not dye self-striping yarn when I started with socks, because it is quite a process and it's not the easiest thing to do, because you actually make a skein. This one is like 8.45 meters long. It is really big. And it's hand winded, so I wind every ball by myself with Josephine's help. Josephine works and helps me on a Monday and a Tuesday. She also works for the yarn on Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. So I've got Josephine to help me on Mondays and Tuesdays, and between the two of us, we have actually winded 20 of these for last weekend's market at the Coffee on 18th. And they are as popular as always as the second month that I had them. But I want to show you what they actually look up like. This is Louis sock that I've made. This is the first knot stopper that I have actually. And it makes
beautiful
stripes.
Yes.
By itself. So you don't have to have to change yarns.
And it doesn't matter it doesn't matter how many stitches you cast onward and what size. It's just then your stripes might be a little bit thicker or thinner.
That's exactly that. You can, and what you can also do is you can do like the different color heel or toe, or how you want to do that. But this one, I've just used the stopper itself. The only thing, if you want to have socks that is exactly the same, you can actually cut the first color till you get to the start of the second color, and you start with that and start with yourself, because you don't know how far in the colorway that first color actually started. So you cut that little piece off and don't throw it away, because you can use it for scrappy socks again, and you can make little scrappy socks with different colors. It's a big overseas. It's huge. There's actually a whole Facebook page that is just for scrappy socks.
Really? Oh, look, I'm such a newbie. I'm writing this down so I can check. So I don't have scraps yet. Yeah.
But you can make scrappy socks. So if you cut that little piece off, you don't throw it away. You keep that for your scrappy socks. And you start with the second color, and when you start the second sock, you can actually start with the same color again, and then you will have two matching socks, because they are dyed exactly, without being, you don't have to change the yarn all the time. So that's another thing. And then, now I've just started. I'm actually, I work quite closely with Adela Marin. And
and she's got a sock along starting now. Yes.
Yeah, no,
I saw that.
Working with her, and I'm going to dye some mini skeins, 15 gram skeins. It will be on the website by the end of the week, where you can actually bundle yourself. You can choose 5 colors and bundle them together for yourself, and make some scrappy socks with that as well.
Yeah, guys, if you're listening, just a little bit of a plug-in. So ideally this morning, I've been quite busy, so I haven't shared it on the page. She's going to do a sock along. I think she's starting this week, if I'm not mistaken, and she goes all the way up to the 24th of December, and she's using all her scraps. Now, I'm so new, I don't have scraps yet. I just have proper skeins. But I like the idea of a knit along because it will keep me focused. I have way too much on the go at the moment. So if I have a target to work towards, then I would more or less keep along with it. So if any of you are keen to do socks, another sock along, I'll post that information on the page later today when I have a moment. And then have a look at the Knotty Habit website later this week so you can get the mini skeins to create your scruffy sock along. Your scruffy sock. But Miensie, I want to hand over to you because yesterday when we briefly chatted, you said you would quickly take us through the process of what arrives and then what's behind you.
What I've done here, I've put down this is how I buy my yarn because I buy in bulk. They are not pre-skeined. I prefer actually not to buy pre-skeined yarn. You can
can you lift it up just a little bit? Ah, there we go. There we go. Okay.
This is 1.5 kilos.
Wow.
This is actually, if I remember correctly, this is Kaiser. This is the sock yarn.
Yes.
This is how I buy it. I buy quite a bit of it at a time. And then Louis and myself, and sometimes Josephine, depends on how things going in the dye studio, we make our own skeins. And by that, I literally mean that we actually wind them in big circles. Like this, like the way you will get them. And they will have their little ends where the ends come together, where you guys cut them loose to unwind them. And then I put in extra ties to make sure that within the dyeing process that the strands don't get tangled. So there's 3 extra ties, and then also I put on a removable, reusable zip tie, which makes it easier for me in the dye process to actually handle the skeins, because if I can actually pick it up like that out of the water. So this is what they look like after we've made skeins. So this goes in, I dye in bundles of 6. So I bundle them up in 6s, and then I set them in my citric acid water for a bit, and then they go into a big pan, like a Baymarine catering pan. Big silver catering pans. And I dye 3 skeins at a time. So I've got 2 pans next to each other, and those 2 will be one color. And you also have to remember that although I try very hard to make them exactly the same, there's no ways that can actually be exactly the same.
Yes.
Because you will have water temperatures affect what is the word? It actually influences how the color comes. You won't me, but it's the truth. If it's a sunny day, I have more brighter colors than when it's actually a day that there's clouds. It's just one of those things.
Okay.
Definitely. It's just so there's so many variables. That's the word that I was looking for. There are so many variables that influences the dyeing process that it is very difficult to have 6 exact same skeins. And
Miensie, I want to just ask before you carry on. Can I just ask you a question? So each of the skeins, each of the colors has a specific name, and I'll talk to you about the naming just now. So no, they're beautiful names, but so can you, I know the dye takes, or the yarn takes differently to the dye, but can you kind of recreate it, or are you naming constantly because they all dye so differently?
I'm naming constantly. There are certain colors like the Amalfi Drive, which is and it's not a recipe, it's in my head. It is just a color that I've had so much success with, and it's a navy. So everyone always loved that type of navy. So I know more or less how much dye to put in a pan in the ratio to what liters of water with the 3 skeins. But it will be different on the different bases.
Yes. Okay.
Because the 4-ply will take it differently than what the merino linen takes it. Even to what the lace takes it. So although it's got the same name, it's just because they've got the exact same amount of dye in the water. But the rest of the names are...
And they're beautiful names. I was looking at my yarn and wondering, how on earth do you come up with those names? Is it just like...
I sometimes send pictures to my daughter in the US. I said, I'm just done. I can't name these. I'm looking for names, and I've got my friends, and I'm like, I know one night it was like 11:30, and I was Sonia van Dijk from Designs by Sophia.
Tunisian. Yeah.
She knows that I'm working quite late and that I'm a night person. So she sometimes will phone me like 11:30 at night. And we will have a discussion while I sit here in the dye studio. And I said, okay, Sonia, just here, look at this. Give it a name. I can't think anymore. So see, has helped me. Anel has helped me. I've pulled in all the resources.
I really struggle when I do my patterns, because I've designed a few blankets and squares and that. Yeah. But I have an awesome group of testers. So I just show it to them and I say, I'm kind of thinking about this. I've done a Google search. I don't think anyone has it, but this also seems nice. And then I just leave it to them. And whatever they decide, I'm like, yeah, that's the one. Yeah, but it's the hardest part for me is to name.
Sometimes, when I'm standing behind the dye pots and I'm like seeing how the colors are actually forming, and then it will remind me of things. And I mean, that one skein of yours is called Varneskrans, and Varneskrans is the little town in the Western Cape where I have a beach house, and the other name for it is Arniston. But it's the only town in South Africa that's got two different names. It's registered two names. So
okay.
We called it Varneskrans. I have actually called other yarn Arniston before, so now this time it's Varneskrans.
Okay. Sorry, and then I rudely interrupted you. So you have it, you've wound it, you've dyed it. Now what?
And then it goes into the dye pans, and there are different techniques of dyeing. Quite a lot of different techniques. You have what they call a low immersion dyeing, so you will have a little bit of water in your dye pan, put your skeins in, and then you will after that probably dye with a liquid dye, meaning that you've mixed your dye before and you just pour the dye on it. Okay, that's one form of dyeing. Then you have the speckle dyeing, where you have those little colored drops, speckles, and within speckle dyeing there is a ton of different techniques of how to do it, when to do it, and it's just different ways of dyeing. Some people use a little paintbrush in the dry powder and sprinkle the paintbrush onto the dye to have that little effect. Some people take their fingers obviously with gloves on and do that. I like to use these strainers. I've got different stainless steel strainers, and I've got different. The mesh is in different various of coarseness, if I can call it like that. A very fine one and a very thick one. And I use different techniques by what I do with a very fine one, with a very thick, wide netting in the strainer. I use dye mixed with the citric acid before I put it, dry citric acid before I put it on the skeins. There's a lot of different techniques that you can use and then you've got kettle dyeing, which is literally actually a big pot where you put the skeins in and it just takes the dye completely different. The only thing about kettle dyeing is, firstly, you don't have a lot of control over the colors or where they go, and secondly, you don't have control of how your skein is actually lying. So you will have one skein with a lot of color and another skein with less color. Also, the yarn will tangle quite a bit if you do it in a big pot and you've got 6 skeins in one pot. So it tangles a bit. And after that, it cools down. And then I wash it. Every skein is hand washed. And
do you have lots of drying racks that you hang everything on? Is that how you dry it?
Yeah. If you come and visit me, you'll see them. They actually in my front garden, because that's where the dogs are not. The dogs are at the back. I've got,
Yeah.
you know, these little thresholds that you get.
Yes.
Louis has actually put on a PVC pipe, and he has drilled in little skews where the pipe goes on top of that. So I can hang on one set of dryers, I can hang about 72 skeins. So
Wow.
that's 7.2 meters of yarn. And I've got 2 of those. We are fortunate in South Africa, very seldom have weather like we had 2 weeks ago, where it took 3 days for yarn to actually dry.
Yeah.
Normally, when I put it out in the morning, it will be dry in the afternoon, like a day like today. It will dry quickly.
I
Moving it
just want to
around.
ask you. Yeah. Sorry, I just wanted to ask you quickly. Do you have to? Does it just hang dry, or do you have to have like keep turning it and swapping
No,
it over? Or?
we keep turning it. It's hanging over these big, huge PVC pipes like this, so it's quite airy
Yes.
and between the strands, and we keep trying to keep them apart as well. And we turn them. We will go out every so often and just squeeze the water at the bottom, you know, not wring it, just squeeze it, and turn it to the wet part at the top again. And the more you turn it, the drier it actually becomes. But then I also have like the knots, you know, those big round different color yarn cakes that I do. And the twinsies as well, who's got the gradients. Those are being knitted before I actually dye them. I knit them on a big loop, so it's a sock blank. But they talk about a sock blank, and I dye the sock blank. And those ones I can't dye hanging, because then the wool will actually stretch. So we've got a flat bed where I put them on, and they dry on this flat bed. The blanks on. And that's quite a bit of work. And I know this past weekend someone asked me, why are they so more expensive than a normal skein?
Yeah, I was just going to say that's a lot of work. That's a huge commitment. Yeah, but I'm so glad that you explained it, because people can understand. Yeah, sorry, Miensie.
Then they are dyed, then they are dried, then I pull them apart, I unravel them, and now you know, if you unravel anything that's been knitted or crocheted, it's got all those little wrinkles.
Yes, like the kinks.
This is even worse because it was heated. It was in a warm dye, hot dye. So I steam that then to make it straight again. And then I only put them in the cakes. All my yarn, every skein gets steamed afterwards. After they come back from being dried outside, we will steam with a hand steamer. I steam all my yarn. It just takes that, and especially merino linen and the lace. They like to do, I call them little pigtails. They like to do all these little twists. And the only way that you can get a very neatly winded skein is if everything is strapped. So we actually hand steam every skein, and then we only twist it in a skein. Get labeled, get a name, and it goes on the wall.
I just want to make a comment for I see Adela has joined us. Hi Adela, you missed I had a little plug-in for your sock along earlier, and I'm going to share those details on the page later. Charmaine, it's so nice to see you. And then Amanda's here. So Amanda actually told me about Knotty Habits. She's such a fan, and she's done beautiful sweaters also. She knits beautifully. I just wanted to say to everybody who's listening, Miensie's gone through the process, and you can have a sort of understanding or feel now for why you pay the price that you pay for hand-dyed yarns, because there's a lot that goes in it. So, and it's very different. The use of it, the feel of it, everything about it is so different from like acrylic that it's just so totally different. And acrylic is so synthetic also. It doesn't it's not biodegradable compared to the natural yarns. But now, how are we doing? Miensie, I've gone over time, but I'm so enjoying chatting to you. So I want to ask you quickly to show us other things that you have, because you have such amazing stuff.
Oh, I've got all these little thingies. It's not on the website yet. I have a contact here in Centurion that does amazing wood turning. He's a retired gentleman, and some of you know, I know that have seen my shawl pins. They are all hand turned shawl pins this big, where you actually just put them through your shawl to keep them tight. And he has done just a set of Knotty pins for me, beautifully locally
Wow.
South African wood Knotty pins that I'm really excited about. And he actually engraved the Knotty habit on the handle, which is beautiful. I love
Oh,
it.
wow. Yeah.
So I'm very excited to put that on the website. And the ones that's left after the weekend's market. Everyone who hasn't been to Pretoria and who hasn't been to Coffee on 18th Yarn Market, it is wonderful. We're having such a wonderful time now that we can see everyone again. So every
Yeah.
last Saturday of the month, you must come and visit us, Gogi. It's not that far from
No,
Johannesburg.
I mean, I work in Centurion, and I know you in Centurion. How did I not know this? So I'm
Yeah, well,
definitely visiting.
yeah, Coffee on 18th is
Um,
actually in Ritondale. It's in on the other side of the mountain in Pretoria, but it's a beautiful
mhm,
old building with a beautiful coffee shop, not very
mm,
good coffee. And then once a month, at the last Saturday of the month, we do a yarn market on the stoop. It's called the Stoop Market now.
yes,
And myself and Colors of Amalfi, Mariki van der Merwe of
yes,
Colors of Amalfi, she joins me on, and we're having a good time. Sonia and all her friends and everyone books a huge long table on the stoop, and they sit and crochet and knit for the whole Saturday morning and come and talk to me. And it's really a nice time that we spend together every last Saturday of the month.
we will come. I mean, Amanda, you here? Let's do it, Amanda. Let's get Roxanne also, and let's go have coffee. We'll do it
So
in the new year, of course.
next time it will be the end of January. First next
Yeah.
market will be the end of January.
Okay. No, we definitely will come through. I want to ask you quickly. So, is it just? Can I come? Can I come to the store? Is it just an online store, or can I come? And a lot of people I know don't like online buying. They want to see. I mean, I'm an online shopper, so I don't really mind. But can I come in to see you and then like buy
Yeah,
from the shop? How does it work?
I don't mind at all. You are more than welcome if you contact me. My telephone number is actually on the Facebook page, my personal telephone number. So if you make an appointment, just arrange with me because I do live in the estate. I need to give you an access code. But
Uh-huh.
I don't really have issues. Mondays and Tuesdays is a bit difficult in the sense that I've got a single garage that I work from, and half of the single
Yes.
garage is what you see behind me, and the other half is actually where all the stoves and the dyes are. So
Yeah.
when Josephine is on a Monday and a Tuesday, it can be a little bit crowded, but we can always make a plan if that's the only time that you can come and visit me. I am more than open for you to come and see me in the studio.
I'm coming. I'm going back to the office next year only, but I'm in Centurion. I'm in West Avenue, so I'm not. I'm just there by the
Definitely
Gauteng
just
station.
over the little hill.
Yes, so
Yeah,
I'm definitely coming. Um,
and
yeah. So
actually very close. I'm very close to Vida Road, and the R55 is just at the back here.
yes.
So I'm very accessible to the highways. But as I said, just pop me a message, and you're more than welcome to come and visit me.
Yeah, thank you.
I don't
So
always look very nice, and I don't always dress like this. I might have my apron on, but you
that's
are more than
okay.
welcome.
That's okay. The problem though is if I come, I might not want to leave quickly. So there's the issue. I might want to
That
have a
is a
tour and
problem.
see everything.
Well, the card machine is also working. Okay.
So Miensie, I want to ask you quickly. So is Louis? So Louis is Louis Miensie's husband. Is Louis part of the business?
Louis, since lockdown, his own business has slowed down quite a bit. So he is really, I always explain to everyone, he's my rock. We've been together since my first year at university. I've met him in my first year at university. He's a bit older, well, not 3 years older than me. But we have been married now. I think it's in January. It will be 34 years that we've been married,
Wow.
and he's always been very supportive, very, very supportive. When I had to make the decision if I want to go on and make this bigger, he was the one who said to me, as long as it doesn't cost me money, you can meet other people. You can meet other people, and you enjoy it. Go for it.
Yeah.
And it's
I,
actually what's happening.
Yeah, I want to just say, whilst we're online, I just want to say a big, big thank you to Louis. He helped so much with all those coupon codes and that, and he said to me, "I'm available until midnight to help people," and I was like, "No, are you crazy? 10 o'clock." But he was so on the ball, and I would just WhatsApp him, and he sorted it out quick. So I've so enjoyed working with him.
Yeah, no, he's definitely my big support at the back, because when your hands are in dye water the whole day, you only get to admin like at night time. So
Yes.
with him being home since lockdown, he can actually do that for me as it happens, and it's really a big help. He's my big help at the markets. He went with me down to Cape Town Yarn Festival last year, and that's really where Knotty kind of it's established itself and being seen. I call him my Minister of Finance at the yarn markets.
We with COVID, we missed out on having one here in Joburg. I was actually quite sad about that. I just wanted to ask another question quickly. Are you in the shops? Are you in some of the stores, or are you just by yourself online?
No, I am. Some of my yarn is at the Yarn Tree in Johannesburg. I mostly dye for them kits, because if there are like certain patterns coming up in kits, that's what I mostly dye for them. Then there are some of my yarn down in Natural Yarns with Gina in Komiki, but Brent from Yarn in Paul, Brent Rober from Yarn. Yeah, she is really. The two of us have been working quite a bit together, and we've grown together quite a bit. And I'm actually very excited. I'm flying down on the 23rd down to Cape Town to be with my mum on Christmas Day. And I arranged like we would go via Paul Fransouk over the mountain to Vleerstop so that I can have lunch with Brent. So
that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm going to let you go just now, but I had one more question I wanted to ask. So, a lot of the indie dyers, they don't take custom orders. Do you do custom? So if I told you I want to make a sweater and I'm kind of thinking these kind of shades, would you do a custom order? Do you do that?
I love doing custom orders.
Yes. Okay.
Absolutely love it. It does put its own little bit of pressure on me. When you dye your own yarn, it's okay. It is what it is, and someone will like it eventually if no one else likes it. But with custom orders, it's a bit different. I like to have either a picture or I don't know if you saw my post last week where I actually dyed that very orange, burnt orange yarn.
I did. Yes.
Yeah, that matched a shirt that Marina Berger has brought to me. She said, "This is my favorite color, and I can't find yarn in this color. Can you please see if you can do it?" And it takes time. I mean, it's a layer on layer because it's always less is best, and you can add on, but you can't take away. So it takes a bit longer than what normal dye sessions will do. But I love doing it. I love to see how I can take a picture and put it on a scale. I love doing it.
I'm so glad you've said that, because I was thinking about knitting Roger, my husband, a sweater, and he's very big and tall. And my greatest fear, and I mean, I've knitted him acrylic, but I want to knit him something really good and with proper wool. I worry that if I like take the colors, then I'm not going to be able to match it properly. But I also like those gradient colors, so I will be chatting to you. But in the new year, because I have a lot on my plate at the moment, then we could do something special for him. And I also, I'm going to chat to you. Maybe we could do another collaboration, but there's these awesome yarn that Stephen West uses in one of his shawls, and you can get it, but it's not local. And I want to do local, so I'm going to chat to you about that, and maybe it's a project for 2021 that we can talk about. Yeah, is there any questions? I just want to see. Yes, so Amanda says let's make a plan. End of January, we're going to come to the market. Jane's coming with. Jane O'Brien's coming with. Adela says, be aware, it's not easy to be amongst that beautiful yarn. Yeah, I know. I'm going to check your schedule in the new year, and then I'm going to ask if I can come for a few hours and to have coffee. Because then we can talk about some of my ideas. Yeah, and then Nell says, I love Knotty Habit. All the colors are so exquisite. It is. I mean, for those of you who joined late, let me show you quickly what I'm working with. Look here. Look at these colors. Am I going away from the camera? There we go. Look how awesome. I can't wait to finish the shawl. It's going to be so beautiful. Adela says 3-ply DK will be perfect for your husband. Yeah, Adela is amazing with color. I must get Adela to come chat to me about marling. I mean, oh my goodness. I don't know how she does it. I just like look at her stuff and I'm like, wow. How does she do that? So Adela, it's an invitation to you. Yeah.
I call Adela my big inspiration. She really is. She's also an amazing, if there is a word like this, she's a yarn scholar. She studies yarn.
Yeah.
And I mean, she is actually more equipped to talk about the weights and the metrages and when it's fingering and the plies and stuff like that. I have learned literally 99% of what I know about yarn. I have learned from her, and she's really amazing friend to have.
Well,
I love her.
the reason why I have one sock is because of Adela. So there we go. It was all her sock knitting, and I kept looking at these posts on Instagram and Facebook, and I was like, I've got to do it. I've got to do it. And she said, you can do it. So there we go.
Well, me to actually knit socks, and I don't even thought I would be able to do it because I don't rate myself as a knitter, but I am knitting socks.
I hope you're using my sock along information.
I've got it all stored, madam. I've got it all stored.
Yeah, Adela says, wow, what an honor, Miensie. So well deserved, Adela. You are just awesome. Miensie, I'm going to let you go because I must go to work now. So maybe someday this environmental scientist could become just a creative Kogi, but now I must go do some environmental science work.
You know, we have another link. My son is also an environmental scientist.
Okay. No, we must chat about it then offline. Yeah. Thank you again for coming to chat with me. You too, and thank you to everybody who joined us. Lots and lots of exciting chats planned, and it just depends on work schedule, but I'll keep you posted. Have a lovely afternoon, everybody. Miensie, I'll come see you soon, and yeah, just enjoy your time in Cape Town if I don't chat to you sooner than that. Take care.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.